Alright, folks, we're going to try listening to some music. Citizen Soldier. I've been aware of them for a while. They make emotionally charged music. Um, I personally find their music a way to express the emotion that's very hard and difficult for me to put into words. But I find music to be soothing and helpful, and it helps me get out some of the emotion that I've had problems with. So we're going to check out Citizen Soldier, and we're going to start out with I Am Not Okay, and we'll see what we got going on here.
Tonight the monsters in my head are screaming so damn loud, but I built walls so high so they never even make a sound. It's a mask, it's a lie, it's the only home I've ever known.
Yeah, so fighting screaming monsters in your head at night. I'm so used to that, and I'm building walls. You build the walls to keep them out, but it blocks. You're building the walls to keep the monsters in so they don't strike out at the world, and you're at the same time those same walls block everybody else out. The walls you're building to protect other people are actually driving them away, and it does feel in the same mode that when you try to talk to people, it drives them away, and it's kind of a double-edged sword there. Trying to protect people and trying to get help for yourself and trying not to drive people away, and everything you seem to do just drives everybody away. But you can't give up. You got to keep trying to get the help that you need. I know it's not easy. I'm still working on everything myself, but don't give up.
'Cause being who I really am has only left me more alone.
See?
I am not okay, and I need you to see it. I have so much to say, and no one to hear it.
So that's a very hurtful fact for me, is trying to use the words, trying to find any words to say, because I don't know what to say. I don't know how to explain every day everything that I do and everything that I go through, just trying to survive through the day. And there are so few people that are equipped to understand that. I mean, how can you understand something that you've never dealt with in your entire life, or you've seen for 1 or 2 days? Somebody has been living that through their entire life. It's like you catch a glimpse of it, but you don't understand. I can't find the right words to describe it ever. I never have yet, but I keep trying.
The reason I keep quiet with so much at stake, I always feel like a bird and let its silence make. You'll never understand why it's so hard to say I'm not okay.
So that's one of the worst things that I deal with, is feeling like a burden. I hate, absolutely hate being a burden. And that hurts so much. And everybody is, you're not a burden, you're not a problem, you don't bother me. Being you is okay. Trying to find that moment where you can talk to somebody and actually explain what's going on and say that you need help and that you are not okay. It's so hard to open up and be vulnerable like that. And I know from personal experience that when people find some of this stuff out and actually see what you're going through, they just can't handle it and they have to walk away. And that hurts the worst. When somebody you thought you could talk to walks away from you when you show them the real truth. But you can't give up on yourself. It's a constant battle that you're working to improve and improve on yourself and keep on going. Don't give up yet.
I wish I had a scar, had a bruise on the surface, any kind of clue.
That's dangerous. That is extremely dangerous. From my own personal experience, I know for a fact that having a scar and having a bruise on the surface, it's not the proof that people are wanting to see. It's the proof inside that something is wrong. Visual representation of what's on the inside is hurting you on the outside, but don't go down that road. Having that hurt on the inside that hurts 10 times worse than anything that's ever been on the outside is so much harder to deal with, but trying to bring that to the surface is not the good way to go. So please don't do that. Take better care of yourself than that. I know it's hard and I know you don't want to, but don't go that route.
That everything I feel is more than just some sad excuse.
And it's not an excuse.
My life's invisible abuse. I'm either judged or have to hide.
That hurts.
The only symptom you can see is I don't wanna be alive.
Yeah. So that symptom right there, and that's one of the biggest struggles that most that fight the same battles that I'm fighting have, is that symptom, but we mask that symptom so trying to protect other people. You feel like you've got to mask that, and that goes back to feeling like a burden and driving people away and feeling alone. There's so much of this just all ties right back into each other and creates a vicious cycle. But people seeing that symptom that's something scary to see. Encouraging you to not focus on those thoughts. Try to focus on something else. I know it's a gnawing, constant feeling in the back of your head all the time. I deal with that all the time myself, but don't devote any energy to it. Let it starve without any energy. Drive it away. Try to focus on something else and get help if you need help. Reach out. I know you don't want to feel like a burden, but this is your life and you're fighting for it every second, so it's okay to reach out. Get help if you need it.
I am not okay, and I need you to see it. I have so much to say, and no one to hear it. The reason I keep quiet with so much at stake, I always feel like a burden, let it silence me. You'll never understand why it's so hard to say. I'll never have the words, I can't explain this.
So that's the problem right there, is finding the words to explain the hell you're going through. It's all new territory for everybody that experiences it. Yes, everybody experiences it differently, but it's not something that's ever been put into words that can just explain it all away. It doesn't work that way, because every minute can be different, every day can be different. There can be days of just, it's not so bad, I feel slightly, I'm feeling a little sad, but I feel good. It's nothing bad. Then trying to explain it to somebody, and just the words just don't come easily. And trying to find those words and organize them into something that makes sense, that somebody can understand easily, is almost impossible. it's not entirely impossible, but it takes work and it takes effort, and it's exhausting.
What if it kills me if I keep it to myself? To myself.
So don't let that one take over at all. Sorry. That hurts. Because you're fighting your own mind, and you want to live. You want to keep going, and you want to be happy. For some reason, you're in a constant battle against yourself at all times. And that's not fair. It's exhausting. You're going to take all of that hurt, pain, sadness, and suffering that you're feeling, and you're going to package it up nicely and hand it to somebody else, and then somebody else has to deal with it. And it's usually the person that cared about you most. And why would you want to do that to somebody that you care about so much? You can't talk to somebody because you're going to be a burden to somebody. Be the burden to somebody. I'd rather be burdened by somebody for 5 minutes of my life than spend the remaining part of my life wondering what I could have done to help somebody and then never seeing them again.
I am not okay, and I need you to see it. I have so much to say, and no one to hear it. I'm not okay, I'm not okay, I'm never safe, it's not a thing.
So yeah, that rounds back around to the same thing. This song just has so many back building waves upon waves of things that back build on each other. Any one of these points in this song could just build right up onto the next. It's so painful. It's like wishing for a scar or a bruise to prove that you had pain inside, and then not being safe. I've dealt with all of that. And it does get easier over time, but it's making it through that time that's so difficult, and finding somebody that will actually care. It's difficult. And then that builds right up on the same of not wanting to be a burden to somebody else. You know, I think that leans into figuring out limitations, and you know, if you reach a point of crisis when you need to be somebody no matter what, even if you are a burden, then reach out. Don't try to fight all of this alone. It's almost impossible. So many of us just don't make it through. But it is okay to reach out. Don't hold everything in.
If I finally break, will you still stay? Tonight the monsters in my head are screaming so damn loud.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Citizen Soldier. I'm Not Okay. Whew, that hurts. And yeah, I don't know how they got my entire life story wrapped up into their songs, but I'm sure somebody that writes their songs has dealt with a lot of this problems, and we're able to express it in a way that can reach out to most of us and help us out. You know, that song had so many rollbacks upon itself to things that just constantly build. One will pop up at random at a different point, and another feeling alone and isolated, and feeling afraid of yourself, and wanting some physical aspect to show what you're hurting inside is. They're all things that I've dealt with personally, and the symptoms of even not even wanting to be alive. It's a difficult symptom to deal with and fight against, and it's scary. And I think the key point that I would think in here is fighting off that feeling of being a burden, because you need help, and having somebody there that you can turn to without wondering, well, am I inconveniencing them for their 5 minutes of their more important life? It's like they're not that their life is more important than yours. It's just you believe that because of all of the stuff you've had to go through. But you still matter. You'll always matter. You're not a horrible person. You're dealing with something that is, unfortunately, it's very common for people. And the problem with it being common is finding a treatment that is per individual is the real problem, because it doesn't react the same on every person, because every person experiences their life differently. Remember, just don't forget to stay alive out there.